Dr. Jordan Peterson, a psychologist and a best-selling author who joins us now. All right, so doctor, how will you be processing and showcasing this reprogramming for us? Because we'd like to know what's going on.
Well, I'm going to do everything I can to make all of this as public as I possibly can. I mean, I've done that from the beginning. I released all the documents that included the charges, so to speak, that the college has levied against me. I want to make this 100% transparent and let the public decide for themselves who exactly is acting, let's say, in an unprofessional capacity.
So you'll be trying to film the re-education program?
Well, I can't say exactly what is going to happen as it moves forward because the legal ground that I'm standing on is very difficult to define. But my plan is to make everything that's done to me public, and if I can do that by filming, well, then I'll do that, or audio recording, or extensive notes or commentary afterward. Somehow, everything that happens is going to be made public. It's absolutely necessary. And I'm also, by the way, perfectly willing to state that I am stating my opinions on Twitter and social media in my professional capacity. So, for example, the comments I made about Ellen Page, I mean, I'm not least bit happy about what the sadistic surgeon butchers are doing to minors, and I'm also not very happy about narcissistic, let's say, celebrities parading off their new surgically enhanced body and enticing young women, for example, into being sterilized and butchered. And so I think I have a professional obligation, like all therapists and all physicians, to say very clearly that this is 100% absolutely not acceptable.
So what do you think the motivation is by these people in Canada that are doing this? Is it because they're embarrassed that you're a psychologist and you're so popular and you're saying unpopular things? Or is it because there's going to be some more darker, more sinister approach next?
Oh, I think that what we're seeing in Canada is an unraveling of all the principles upon which my country and yours are predicated, and that's part of the ideological possession that's swept over Canada in particular. I mean, it's certainly threatening you characters down in the United States, but we're farther along that road given that we're run by the poster boy for political correctness himself. And it's so amazing because, you know, Justin Trudeau, that's our Prime Minister, his father, Pierre, his contribution to Canadian posterity was the introduction of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which hypothetically guarantees Canadians the right to free speech, but has pretty much no teeth. And it was a bad document to begin with, and whatever little utility it had, his son Justin, who's now our Prime Minister, has destroyed entirely.
So this is an attack on Western civilization, an attack on gender, an attack on biology, an attack on the scientific method. Why would the left pursue an attack on Western civilization, which has provided so much, you know, amazing results over the last, you know, hundreds of thousands of years?
Well, look, people have been motivated by spite and resentment forever. I mean, it's a story as old as mankind. It's a story as old as the story of Cain and Abel, is that to tear down what's successful and useful in spite because your own sacrifices, let's say, have apparently gone unrewarded. And that's just the same old endless archetypal story playing out in political guise. And there are no shortage of people as well, especially on the more psychopathic side of the continuum, who will adopt the camouflage of compassion. Let's say we see that expressed in relationship to do care for group rights. They'll adopt the camouflage of compassion to tear everything down and dance around in the ruins. And there's actually a fairly extensive psychological literature now detailing the relationship between narcissism, psychopathy, manipulativeness, and left-wing authoritarian political viewpoints. And
is this because something happened to them as children? They feel insufficient, they feel disregarded, they feel disrespected. What causes this lashing out, this violent tearing things down?
Well, look, well, everybody is in a position in their lives to feel alienated from existence itself from time to time. I mean, life is pretty difficult and things don't often always turn out the way we want them to, you know, and we can all doubt the meaning of our own lives and the purpose, and we're all subject to a certain amount of torture, and one of the temptations there is to get bitter and resentful and to lash out, to look for enemies, and to tear down tradition, partly merely to shake your fist at destiny itself and to express your dismay. It's a constant temptation for everyone in some ways to to be tempted down, to be enticed down that pathway. But it's a very dreadful mistake. And you know, the freedoms that we put in place in the West, especially the freedom of speech, is predicated on the viewpoint, that human existence is worthwhile, and so is being itself, and that we should orient ourselves properly upward. And well, you know, some people think that's a good idea, and some people take the opposite tack.
All right, well, we look forward to you showcasing what happens up there, and I look forward maybe next time you could wear, Joseph, in the Technicolor Dreamcoat suit, maybe a you know, bow tie. I somehow feel like you dressed down for me, and I don't know what I did to deserve that, but we'll see what happens next appearance.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the invitation and for the attention that you're drawing to this. I think the Americans, you guys can watch the collapse of a democratic country and its institutions to the north of you if you want to see how it happens, because it's happening in Canada one step at a time.
We'll be watching closely. Thank you, as always, Dr. Jordan Peterson, and everybody go check out the book, 12 Rules for Life. I'm following 11 of them and turned out okay.